What's up, guys? Vince Ryder here. And yeah, welcome back to VinzTalk, where I basically I don't know, I feel like a lot of times I'm talking about either YouTube news or news from TikTok because I do tend to doom scroll over there. And then I just see some interesting news that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is serious. So yeah, this is basically one of those. Also, I have a new gym membership, so I'm going to be doing. Right now, I'm still dealing with the soreness. I haven't been in the gym in a while. So, for the first in few years, yeah, finally, I'm back. I'm back at it. Also, I'm planning to do more face revealed content, like eating videos or reactions or just stuff like that. Also, something with me and Stefan, we're going to be doing some podcast type content. And this time it's probably going to be just, feel like you're going to see a video of just two of us in one video and we're just going to chat it up. Basically how an original podcast is usually does. Or original podcast with no equipment. Because we don't got no equipment. I see those mic things that some people have. So I'm thinking of actually getting one of those. And, I don't know. That's probably somewhere in the future. There's a lot of things I'm buying from Amazon. And pretty much one of those was an AC. I want to get like a portable AC thing. And that would be something cool to have, especially in my car during these hot days where I'm not in the house or I'm out and about and probably sleeping in the car, like somewhere like that. That's kind of like something I want to do. Like I almost set up for that, especially in this moment where I hear that there's going to be an outage at some point. I don't know when. It might come, knock on wood, but then again, I don't know like what's going on. There's so much disasters happening all over in America. And pretty much when I was hearing about this whole thing, going on with floods still going and certain disasters, the wind, especially hearing how windy it is in certain areas here in like in California, it's pretty bad. But anyways, yeah. Also, still game hunting. That's also another thing I've been doing. I just found of course, I didn't put the video out there yet, but let's just say that I found some gold. Okay, I'm not sure which video that I released. That's for sure. It's either me unboxing like the Halo set or me unboxing like more Crash games because I love my Crash. I'm still trying to find. I've been on the hunt for a couple of PS3 games because I did buy a hard drive for my PS3, and I first off I just realized I've been buying a lot of stuff. That's kind of like how my summer's doing. It's a lot of freaking buying, a lot of online shopping, but also I have time to actually go out and about, like in stores and stuff like that. So that's what I've been doing. And yeah, a lot of buying, even though I'm supposed to save money because I am moving out soon. Anyways, yeah, there's so much to talk about and all that, but this is not about me. This is, basically about what's happening out there news-wise, because there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to be doing in terms of rants, and that's basically what this series is about. Vince yelling into the void. That's how it goes, I guess. But yeah, let's get into some news. But other than that, yeah, I'm doing good. News, I guess. Let's start off with a couple of TikTok type news and stuff like that, or stuff that I seen in TikTok and me talking about it. First off, there's this whole. Do you know what an antipasto is? It's an appetizer dish. An Italian appetizer dish, and basically that's what it means, like in Italian, antipasto. And basically, like somebody brings, there was something like this that I heard that it's common in the Midwest in antipasto. I really had never seen that around here in California, but like then again, it's from Italy, so it's not really from the Midwest. But it sort of became something of the Midwest because there was this whole like this video. I didn't really see the video. if I gotta be honest. But there was this lady that I believe she's a mother of kids or something. She even brought her kids with her. I don't know, like somewhere around 40s or 30s or something like that. But she went to a party and she wasn't accepted, even though that she had friends like accepting her and stuff like that, like saying like, hey, you can come by here, because she moved from the Midwest. I don't know where in the Midwest, maybe Chicago or something like that. I don't freaking know. Down south, somewhere in Texas, somewhere in Georgia. I don't freaking know. As you can tell, the details are a bit blurry from my point of view, because all I've been hearing is memes about it and people talking about it. And I guarantee those people they can give you a better, like, summary compared to what I'm doing, because I'm not even giving this justice, because again, all the details and everything is so blurry, because it's something that I heard about, but I'm just telling you what's going on. But basically, yes, a mother from the Midwest moved somewhere to the South, moved into a new neighborhood. It does this whole thing where I guess, old folks just gather and just to, get familiar and get familiar with the community and stuff. And it's something that I cannot relate. I don't have kids, but also I'm an introvert. So I don't know what that tells about me. So I don't know. This mother has it going on better than I can. I mean, then again, I wouldn't know. I really don't know. These are just random people to me. I guarantee that something like that also happens in my neighborhood. But I can't even give a damn to freaking know that. Okay, maybe in a different, like in my peers, but not with like random parents and stuff like that. Like, what am I doing there? Unless my parents invite me somewhere, and for some reason, like, okay, I guess I'm just around all these old folks, but at least they got some good food. And I would be damn if I found like an antipasto around anywhere. If I'm going to a party, I wanted to try that. I saw the plate and it looks so freaking good. That has to be at least 120 here in California. That would cost a lot. And she got kicked out for that antipasto. These, like, and people were calling them hicks or something like that, rednecks and whatever term that you can use. Basically Texans or Southern folks. And the whole idea of Southern hospitality, I guess, doesn't exist anymore, because these old folks left her crying. Like, she cried and was like, I guess she was like, I didn't see the video again, but from what I heard from the grapevine, that she was crying that she didn't feel accepted, that they kick her out because of her bringing some antipasto. It's literally like homemade burrata cheese with some mozzarella and some burrata and some balsamic glaze with some like pepperonis, some vegetables here and there. It looked freaking amazing, especially for me as I'm trying to get healthy. I've been trying to eat salads here and there, and that looks amazing. That looks like a perfect dish for something for me to devour, and it's healthy. I wouldn't regret eating it after I'm done. And I just, like, first of all, I was just angry. I was like, why did they kick her out because of that dish? I'm sorry that this is too, like, because I don't even know the demographic at all of the house that she's going to. I don't know if that matters, but it's like a lot of people are not, like, I guess they're only used to, like, barbecue ribs, collard greens, catfish with some like heavy seasoning and stuff. And they look at this Italian dish and they're like, what the frick is this? What kind of European, what kind of European dish is this? What is this daytime? Well, here are. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I figured. It's so funny. I forget that, oh yeah, I'm American. I can actually do the accent if I want to. What did they here or there? Oh God, they don't wear, what are you going to wear? You know what I'm saying? Just, like, I forget I can definitely say that. Listen, no one's going to be freaking offended, okay? I guarantee you. I mean, I don't know, okay? I don't care. I'm going to be honest. I don't care. I know I'm over exaggerating of the accent and stuff like that. But really, though, I'm starting, like, that's what I think. I'm like, okay, what did these people said or say to her or hurt her feelings? Is it the dish? Is it like, her coming in and not being invited and being like, who are you? Like, it's giving this like weird like lunch table vibe. Like, these are grown adults. and they can't eat like accept somebody because they're from a different area in the US or something. Like, mind you, this would go like freaking news everywhere if this was a person with a different ethnicity from a different country and coming to the US, start a new life and trying to get accepted, but then they throw her dish out because what's this dang thing here? What is it? Butter chicken? What is this Indian crap here? Huh? I guarantee you that would be all over the news. All over the news. That would be everywhere. And I like if that was like I guarantee that would hit news lines and people are gonna talk about it. But this is different. This is a lady from the Midwest that has like kids that were also invited there, mind you, with bringing her Italian dish because I guess she's Italian, which wouldn't be a surprise. Let's be real, it wouldn't be a surprise, of course. Especially I'm starting to think like she could be from Illinois, but I wouldn't know. I really don't. But at the same time, that like don't knock it till you try it. This is one of those equivalents like something that you don't think would be appetizing. Like somebody probably doesn't like tacos. Somebody probably doesn't like orange chicken. And they judge it and they say this and that, and they're like, and they try it. They're like, well, actually, this is not bad. It's the equivalent of Arby's. People talk about this and that about Taco Bell and Burger King. Listen, they don't freaking give a damn. If you don't like it, shut up. Just shut up about it, okay? Oh, Burger King, and shut up. Just shut up. You don't need to freaking go there. So stop crying about it, all right? Nobody damn cares about, listen, KFC has been exposed many times. People still go there, okay? Shut up. People still go to KFC, okay? You can complain all you want about this restaurant and that restaurant there. People complain about Olive Garden. People complain about freaking McDonald's. But nobody gives a damn. I'm not defending these restaurants, okay? Listen, I talk many craps about everything. Any brand. And about Nintendo. And people still buy Nintendo stuff. About Switch 2s. Shoot, I could be one of those. If they have a good game for a good deal, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it. Okay, but, we're about to get into that for a little bit. But if I had $1 million, oh man, there will be more than one Switch 2 in this household. Okay, and when I say this household, I mean my own house, if ever that becomes a thing in the future. But kicking her out because of that dish, I don't know. I want to know the details of this story because it's so insane. It's like these people cannot be that hickety doo-dah, yeehaw, about like anybody when it comes down to their dish. Like imagine, oh shoot, like imagine like if they brought in like a dish, like they brought somebody like is from, like some parts of California and they brought in sushi or, Chinese food or something. And these, people that like, these hicks would be like, what is this Chinese crap? And the person brought it would be, well, actually, that's sushi. That's Japanese. I don't give a damn. I mean, Trump. I can't imagine that. I can't. And this is a very rare occasion of man. That sort of accent is creeping in. This is a very rare occasion of that thing happening. Usually, no matter what house, unless they're like old. We're talking about like in their 60s and 70s, and they never ever tried a freaking Chinese dish in their freaking life. And they live in this little small town in Texas or something. Until in my head, I'm like, is that really a thing? Is that really a thing? I know there's people like my friend Stefan never has ever been anywhere out the country. And I'm not saying I'm better than anybody because I live in certain areas here and there, for a bit when I was a kid. I pretty much most of my education came from abroad, and then I came to the U.S. later on. But it's like, what is happening here? This is, I don't know. I want to know more of the news. But the lady with the whole Antipasto dish, if you can type that on TikTok, you know what it is, and you might see more details surrounding it. Especially updates here and there, because that is just not fair. If somebody's bringing free food, especially in this damn economy, be grateful. Just be grateful. Anyways, That's my rant number one. Let's get into rant number two. Because I can go on for days, okay? I can tell you that much. I can go on for days. More TikTok news, or maybe if you can call it that. Liver King. If you know him, you know listen, I'm not a fan of the Liver King. I don't give a damn. I know for a fact if there's one thing that is somewhat inspirational of the Liver King, he does live to the quote of primal, of the sense of we have to rely on our human abilities. And in some sense, there is there's an extension because listen, I want everybody to be safe. You can't be out there with no clothes or something, or hold on, let me repeat that. Let me re-say this. Like, you have to wear shoes when you're out and about, okay? You can't come like, I know there's certain people that were raised of not wearing shoes when they were little, or maybe they just don't. They're actually nowadays used to not wearing shoes when they're going out. I know a couple of people, but for crying out loud, especially here in California, you cannot tell me you ain't paying me enough to actually walk out in public with no shoes. That's just not happening. That's just not happening. Listen, with the amount of shoes I have, you think I'm about to catch those to waste? No, I'm rocking my sneakers. I'm rocking my kicks. Okay? You ain't having this. But I do appreciate other people that, they live by, you don't need, and pretty much Liver King is kind of like an example of somebody, like, he eats raw meat. Like, dude, that's not safe. That's not safe at all. You eat raw stuff. You do a lot of things that is beyond raw here and there, and it's kind of like, what is happening? I don't know. But my goodness, that he is just that legit. He is that, in some ways, in many, badass. For longest time, I seen a lot of creators, but this is one of those guys that kind of live up to that point. And also, he tends to be kind of funny. I like that quote that, skit he did with QCP, the pasta batch guy. And pretty much they did a collab, and I still like it to this day. But especially now, let me tell you this is one of those times where he has crossed the line. Apparently, if you know Joe Rogan, you know that he's a big deal, the biggest podcaster. I really don't care, to be honest. That's just me. I don't care. Because when it comes to anybody that's big, listen, there's some people that I kind of have to, give them my money if, we're talking about big, I don't know, the freaking president, my tax money, where's that going? But, but there's also some companies in here and there that I don't care that are big, and especially that goes the same thing with content creators. And when it comes down to the Liver King, I don't necessarily watch a lot of them. And that's the same thing with Joe Rogan. These are big stars. I feel like realistically, nobody is really a big star. We're all human at the end of the day. But these are two individuals that are, big deals, and pretty much, especially when it comes to the podcasting era and when it comes down to, I guess, content creation in general, whatever he's into, or whoever's into, caveman walking barefoot and eating freaking raw meat. Sure, if that's her thing, whatever. But man, the Liver King actually took it up to he wants, I don't know what Joe Rogan said, but I guess it offended Liver King to the point where he was over there in Texas and tried to fight him. And he, I don't know what that was, but my goodness, that has to be terrifying. When I see Liver King, this shirtless caveman, listen, I would run away. I want to run away so bad, okay? This nobody should mess with this guy. This individual, no. If he chases me, listen, the only thing that is running is my heart. I would have a heart attack. Ain't no way. I'm running for all dear life. I do not want to piss this guy off at all. Listen, I don't know what I said. I'll apologize to everything. I got nothing against you, Liver King. Okay? I got nothing. I'm a nobody. Please, just spare my life. But my goodness, this person finding like no wonder freaking Joe Rogan called police and stuff like that. You got Lever King saying like, "Oh man, be a man. We gotta be like man to man. We gotta be a man to man thing, and we gotta come, together and be a man and fight me. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be like I don't know what that's what he really sounds like or something like that. But in my head, that's what he sounds like, and also much more bigger because that is terrifying. Okay, I don't listen. And pretty much after that, I think Liver King said it was a whole joke or something, especially when he got arrested, especially when he got his mugshot or whatever. And I'm just thinking, like, are you even sure it's a joke? I don't believe you. Listen, I don't believe you. Listen, there was this guy that was like, like he was off, basically, okay, he was off on a killing spree or something for like, and this was like this crazy individual. And this is certain ways like related into Christian news because this guy was like, and forgive me because I can't word this correctly. There's a reason why I didn't put this in the list, but this guy was like, he murdered a pastor for the sake of, the Old Testament of the Bible, even though the Old Testament has Jesus, and pretty much the pastor was talking about Jesus or something like that, or he, but this crazy individual that is now in jail, murdered this individual that basically murdered this pastor because talking about like, how Jesus is God, which, in many ways, for those that, if you don't know, Jesus is God. And that should always be the truth, 100%, especially if you're reading the Bible. That's very important to keep in mind. But man, this guy just killed this, like, this pastor for just talking about the truth or something. And it's kind of like just confusing. It's like this pastor is just like he has a family and stuff like that. This person that was off a killing spree also has a family. It's like so weird, but it's also like what else is new in this country? Because I don't know what are we supposed to do to actually be safe anymore? Because if he gets killed for that, like what are the chances of just like, Joe Rogan almost getting killed by the freaking Liver King? That is just ginormous compared to Joe Rogan. Listen, I know maybe Joe, from what I heard, he used to do UFC or something like that in the past, and maybe he still knows how to fight. Listen, even if I could be a black belt, I still want to run away from that guy. I ain't touching Liver King. I ain't a mile away from him. That guy scares me. My gosh. But anyways, yeah, that's what's happening. And moving on to more news. Let's get down to business with this whole AI freakish thing going on. Because apparently Elon, good old Elonzo Musko, freaking just ended like just ended parenting in general. Just ended families all around, future families, because apparently he created AI. A female AI for Grok, for the app Grok, and you have to pay $30 a month to actually get this female AI, and it's kind of like, what are we doing? Listen, maybe I'm oversaturating, but a lot of times it's kind of true. Yeah, families are not going to really be a thing in the future much anymore. Ain't that something? Listen, this is a fear that many people had, especially for me. Especially my parents. Oh, especially my parents. But when I see this, I'm like, wow. Just wow. Okay, Elon. Just making them worse. Well, listen, we're going to turn into Japan real quickly. The birth rate is going to be low. It's going to be low. I don't know. I'm oversaturating, of course, because I like to have fun with these videos. But what are the chances? Elon just had to make this a thing. He just had to make this a thing. Of bringing a female Grok that is beyond attractive, that can basically do anything for you in terms of being an AI, but you know. Yeah, repent, everybody. What are we doing? Anyways, moving on to movie news. We got ourselves a couple of movies here and there, basically cast reveals, and there's 2 cast reveals for Zelda, the upcoming live-action Zelda, which I'm very curious to see in the future, but also Harry Potter is also... Listen, I don't really watch Harry Potter anymore. I feel like, especially as a Christian, I shouldn't really support it at all, even though I grew up with it. But it seems interesting because I seen the cast for Harry Potter playing in the upcoming show series in HBO, which is called Harry Potter something. I don't know the full details, but it looked just like him, like a little kid of him. And you see Hagrid, and I'm like, yep, that's Hagrid. Maybe a bit skinny in the way I'm looking at it, but yeah. Okay, this is about to be interesting. And we have Zelda, live action Zelda. I'm not that big of Zelda. I try to play Breath of the Wild, but man, that game is too damn big for me to finish. It's too big, okay? And it was during the time when my gaming backlog had a lot of games and I just couldn't really afford to actually get any more. But I was looking at this and I was like, wow. Well, you look at that. We got ourselves the actual cast. And it's not Hunter. People were hoping that Hunter. And also, I was interested to see Hunter as playing Zelda. To be honest with you, I was like, I'm very curious. This would make some interesting videos. The people that would talk about it, they're gonna get paid mad bread, okay, with YouTube revenue and stuff like that. It would be interesting just to see their freakouts and just stuff like this. But of course, Nintendo didn't make that happen. Or whoever is making the movie did not make that happen. Hunter wasn't Zelda. Instead, it was a different actor that was white, of course. And also whoever's playing Zelda is white, of course, and short. And it was a bunch of little kids, at least the way I'm looking at it. But also it's like, wow, okay, this is it's not Hunter. That's pretty much it. One of the biggest news aspects of this is the fact that Hunter Schafer is not playing Zelda. But at the same time, how crazy would that be if it was? Moving on. We're going to get down to business with this new set. But also, it's kind of like a threshold into the gaming news. So we're going to get into that. So apparently, there's this whole thing about the Epstein files. I don't know what it is, but I heard that Trump isn't Listen, I'm not a Trump hater, okay? I remember when Stefan was here and we did a podcast talking about the whole, the assassino attempt that happened at Trump over there in Butler. And I did say, Trump didn't deserve this. But the fact that he dodged the bullet, it kind of felt like God is on his side. But at the same time, not releasing the Epstein files and refusing to, Trump, what are you doing? What are you doing? What is the FBI doing over there? But at the same time, I don't know. What is he hiding? I don't know the full details. Again, I'm just a dude lounging here on the couch talking to you guys. What's good? That's it. But my goodness, we couldn't bring ourselves to get the freaking Epstein files. Listen, with Diddy being free and stuff like that, we just want to know why. But also with the Epstein files, that's also just another threshold. It's like two, you get just a two combo for 2-pack. First Diddy and now Epstein. Are these people just running off free? What is happening? What is happening? Where's the mercy for these people? And freaking Epstein's not even alive to be here to actually, really give us the full details of anything else. I still am just hungover about that freaking documentary on Netflix. Because at the same time, I want to know the truth. But are you going to give it to me? Trump's nope. I don't know. I say it isn't so. I don't believe it. But at the same time, who's surprised? But, since the FBI is too busy, they're not even busy with that. They're too busy ruining gaming. That's why we're going to the threshold of gaming news. Of basically the FBI shutting down a ROM site. And for those that don't know, yes, piracy is illegal. But what is holding gaming history? You have all these companies for some weird reason. Okay, Nintendo. Okay, I don't know about Xbox or Sony. I don't know about Microsoft or Sony. I don't know about PlayStation or Xbox when it comes down to because they did their part for actually helping with the emulation community in a sense. And I can, but at the same time, when you're with these, these mega corporations, there's still somebody in there that will do everything in their will, everything in their fiber, to basically end game preservation. And for some reason, Nintendo is the forefront of it. And they choose to do that with a ROM side that basic. Here's the thing. What does the ROM side ever do that like hurts Nintendo? I know why. But there's a part of me, it's like, why? Why are you wasting the FBI's time with this? There's a lot of things that the FBI is like busy with. But with this, like Nintendo is just like, yeah, a freaking Japanese company calling FBI like, hey, Bobo, there's this freaking site and it offends me. And I think we need to do the God's work. You know what I'm saying? That's what I picture Nintendo be like. Okay, the freaking Nintendo, I wouldn't be surprised. They like, freaking Leo Skeppy times 1,000. It's like, of course, you know what? Go ahead, Nintendo. Just be that bougie. Be mad bougie. You're so bougie that I don't want used games in my system, so I'm gonna have to brick you, boo-boo. I swear to God. Anyways, I gotta calm down. Because I can't anymore with freaking Nintendo. I want to get a Switch too. But with freaking Nintendo doing all these dumb moves, man. Listen, like people getting bricked in a bad way, okay? Don't get the gun out of your mind, okay? When I say getting bricked, I don't mean in a good way. I mean your system is getting bricked. Your system doesn't work anymore. Because apparently, when you're using borrowed games, like, hey, my brother just got done playing Mario Kart World. Oh, okay, let me go play it on my Switch too. Boop! 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 Done. Ended. $450. Wasted. Wasted. And plus a freaking 500 more. Why, FBI, are you teaming up with Nintendo? I am really trying to know. They have to have freaking Elon times 2 bank money with that freaking whatever they pay you on. That is mad bucks, and apparently we living in that world. It don't make damn sense. Somebody tell me it isn't so. But it was a surprise. It's Nintendo. They're freaking charging you everything off the wazoo. Meanwhile, those, individuals in like third world countries that spent their life, like their 2 life savings, their freaking first life and their second life savings on a freaking device that it's going to get bricked. But they choose to buy it anyways, and they got bricked anyways because, actually, we don't want these third world countries close to our systems. Even this country, Brazil, Nintendo, will you stop? This is some BS, you know that? I swear, $800 for a freaking system is diabolical. Beyond diabolical. You have no idea the amount of greed that Nintendo has. They are going far to the moon. So far to the moon, okay? It's insane. Anyways. It's so insane. Like, why? Why is this happening? What is Nintendo freaking doing? No wonder the whole freaking country of Brazil. That's a big country. Times 2 bigger than freaking Japan. I'm using a lot of math here, okay? I'm so angry. I'm becoming a mathematician. That's how pissed off I am. Because let me tell you, you have no idea the freaking length, the width of this, situation is going with Nintendo. My anger is beyond freaking Saturn. Oh my gosh. It's like, well, what else is new, Nintendo? What else is new? Like, meanwhile, I'm talking about you, and I'm on my PC. Well, you gonna brick my PC? You gonna freaking make a deal with Dell? And Dell apparently is gonna do it like for crying out loud. For crying out loud, you two. I mean, Nintendo. Like, you just can never make sense. They'll hunt me down because I got an opinion. It's so stupid. It's like I can't really bring any sense to myself to ever support Nintendo anymore. Like, I absolutely hate them. They're the reason why many games are gonna disappear off the face of the planet. All of the games. This is why I start collecting. This is why I start getting physicals, because I know that Nintendo, what they're doing is they're gonna end games. They're gonna end physicals with the game key cards, with the beef with Brazil, especially Brazil suing them for like bricking their consoles. That is like $800, not 800 Brazilian dollars or Brazilian pesos. No, 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 no. They did the translation here, and it's $800 or $850. Okay, $850 over there in Brazil for a Switch 2. What freaking what part of the favela in Brazil can ever afford that? Have you seen the country? As somebody that is been to the third world country, that live in a third world country, that angers me because these people are going through a lot. And they have that one kid that they love so much. God bless them. Buying them a Switch 2, knowing that whatever is going to happen, and especially buying games in that country that they have to rely. Like, it's not easy. And they have to risk the fact that, yes, their Switch 2, their $850 is going to go to waste. And that is just evil. Evil. Look around you. Read the room. But no, Nintendo is just over there with his. I'm sipping on my $12,000 million martini because I'm a badass. Yeah, and the game key cards, oh boy, don't get me started. My energy can't take it anymore, people. My energy can't take it. I don't even need to go to the gym. I am sweating. Moving on. Sage Expo is happening. I'm going to be streaming that at some point. Maybe, maybe not. Just checking out the games and stuff. Because I haven't been doing a lot of game content, or basically making content in general. I've just been focusing on a lot of my priorities with my life, which helped because that's how I'm getting money. I would talk about Bonanza because I did play it for the first time. I actually did play a Switch 2 a few days ago. It was at a Walmart, and I touched it. I was like, oh, this is high quality. Okay. I couldn't enjoy it, especially after me talk, literally a few seconds ago, when I'm going on a freaking over yelling spree. You know what? It's a good game, but my God, I can't take this. I just can't win Nintendo. I can't. And also, you might as well just get a PC. There's this Geekon PC out there that's below than $300, especially now. Yeah, that's worth your money. A Steam Deck, worth your money. Okay? Whatever it is in terms of PC-wise, this is why I decided to go into PC. Not only because I already had a PC, but it's also the best way to actually really experience games, indie games of all sorts. You're really helping the ecosystem out there. Unlike a bad company. Oh my God. Anyways, also animation news. There's a Panty and Saki is back. 15 years later. I didn't know it would come back. I did see the first episode. And I'm like, yep, of course, it would be that raunchy. There is a part of me where I'm hoping, especially as a Christian, that I want to actually see, I'm curious of what their take, what are the lengths are they willing to go to talk about God? Will Jesus be mentioned in this series? This new season of Spanting Stocking? It's literally a show about angels and demons, but not in the way you think, that's for sure. And these are not angels. First off, they have a priest there. No. That's not a priest. That's not a pastor. That's not a priest. Okay, garter belt is no. That's far. Listen, like the cash register that actually helped me through in CVS. Yeah, that person is more of a priest than whatever I'm looking at here, especially anyone else. I think the only saint, the only and there's no Christians. Of course, there's no Christians in this freaking show, but the closest thing to a saint here is freaking Brief. And I still remember all the characters. It's crazy. It's been years, like decades almost. And they joke about it on the first episode, and they're like, "Oh, it's only been 5 minutes." Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, 5 minutes, 5 decades. That's what it feels like. My gosh. But anyways, I spent all my energy yelling about Nintendo because I hate them so much. Oh my goodness, I just can't. But whatever, they're gonna get their freaking maximum revenue. They can literally have enough money to actually open up a space station if they want to. They can freaking defeat Elon Musk with their space race, okay? Because if Japan has something, listen, if Japan opens up a new space program or something other than what they have, guarantee it's freaking Nintendo with the whole Nintendo logo on a freaking rocket, and they're going to Pluto or something. Anyways, I'm done. I need to sleep. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz. One over to peace and God bless.